Here we are. This is Sakimoto, and I've got Ted and Gumi with me. And this is this season 4? This is season 4, right?
Yep.
season
Season 4.
Season 4 VDL finals. We've got Goomer 22 taking on Kalopsia. So it's the Boltund Bashers versus the Norwegian Darmanitans. Both incredible players. We're gonna hop into before we get into the match. I'm gonna go into some stats, and we're gonna just kind of talk about the two teams and the two matchups, or I guess it's one matchup, but all right. Well, the Boltund Bashers VDL win percentage overall 80%. That's for games. 80% win percentage for games. Season record 7-1. His kill leader is Tornadus Therian with 26 kills. The Norwegian Darmanitans VDL win percentage all time is 69%. The season's record 6-2. Kill leader Dragapult and Primarina tied at 22 kills. Gumi and Ted, what do you have to say about these two teams overall? Or two
Yeah,
players?
I mean,
Okay, go first.
when we talk about, these two teams, these are like some of the titans of the VDL, kind of how I see it, right? Both of these teams started out the first 3 weeks undefeated. Goomer has had an undefeated season up until the finals last season. So these two teams are both incredible players. And obviously we know that the Darmanitans already have a win under their belt. So I'm excited to see how this goes. But these are two of the strongest teams in the league. So
Yeah. I feel like for both of these teams, they've accomplished so much on these past couple of seasons, especially Lisa in the first season in kart, taking that first championship belt for the VDL, and Goomer last season coming so close to that championship. Um, you know, uh, that's honestly a great accomplishment for him. But I feel like Goomer, and especially in this match, going against another champion, former champion, I feel like he's under that pressure to get the win. But yeah, honestly, both of these teams have accomplished so much. Look forward to see who comes up top.
Yeah, the Darmanitans going for their second title, and the Boltund Bashers trying to avenge themselves from last season. So let's hop into we're gonna take a look at both their teams and maybe pick apart some of the threats, maybe comment on some of the Pokemon that they've highlighted this season as being kind of stars on their team. Gumi, you want to go?
yeah, sure. Starting out, right, we see how powerful of a team Calypsia has. Just the fact that he has two kill leaders at 22 kills each just kind of shows how much offensive power he has. So, looking at this matchup, Dragapult looks pretty solid, right? You have mons like Gorgeist, Meowstick, and Alakazam that all just kind of straight loose Dragapults. But at the same time, we see, in my opinion, probably the best mon against Calopsia's team for Goomer is, other than that Primarina, Mamoswine looks very, very good here. So, when I'm looking at this match, I'm saying, I think Calopsia is going to bring some type of offensive Dragapult, and, Goomer is going to try his best to get Mamoswine in a good Dynamax position and sweep.
Ted?
Yeah. Um, Exploring like a different option for both teams. I feel like both like underrated mons that we've seen both mostly what Goomer has been using as with Blissey. I'd like to see more Blissey action, especially in this match. At least in taking a couple of hits, as we saw in the semifinals. See take a lot of a lot of Dynamax attacks pretty well. Um, and the same thing on Calypsia's side with using Trevenant. We haven't particularly seen Trevenant a whole lot, but I would like to see it being used a little bit more from Calypsia's side. Again, I don't know if he'll use it in this match, but if he does, I like to see that as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who they bring. We know that both these players, especially this season, I feel like they're not scared to use any Pokemon on their team. They're not scared to Dynamax anything. They're not scared to go with a ton of different combinations of strategies and moves and crazy sets. So I guess now we hop into the match and see what happens. All right, this is it. We're gonna head to team preview and see what mons they brought.
Okay, so we see on Colopsia's side, right? We see the Gigalith, Gallade, Primarina, Dragapult, Darmanitan, and Togepi. So, I mean, he has a lot of hard hitters. I think just looking at his items and stuff, right? That Gallade, Choice Scarf, Gallade, and the Solvis Dragapult's pretty interesting. That strikes me as like maybe some coaching stuff with Gallade.
Yeah, and Assault Vest Dragapult is not something you see often. I think, Dragapult's just a threat in general, especially as a Dynamax option. I really like the coaching Assault Vest idea, especially because, when I see someone lead Dragapult Gallade, I'm thinking beat up, justified stuff. And, I mean, he could totally throw Goomer off if he goes for something like that. The coaching and Max Dragapult, So, curious to see how that works
and once
out.
again, Kalisa brings the Togepi. Again, redirection is going to be the main factor in these matches.
Yeah, and on Goomer's side, right, we see the Mamoswine, which, as I said, seems pretty good. The Obstagoon, Gorgeist, Tornadus, Therian, one of his best mons, Stack Attack, and Meowstic. So, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see. No Blissey or Trevenant for Ted, sadly. No, I know he wanted some of that action, but...
Yeah, I really did.
I think we all wanted some of that action. All right, here we go. Game 1.
Oh man, what a lead from Goomer. Obstagoon, Meowstic.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he's going for. I mean, that Obstagoon's got the knockoff. Obviously, Defiant is kind of frustrating to deal with, but in front of this Gallade, it's not looking too hot here, especially a Scarf Gallade.
And then Gallade with as we just saw, has quick guard, so interesting to see. And he does go for the quick guard.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think you just want to close combat the Obstagoon. Let's see how this plays out. I think Obstagoon's a big threat for Dragapult, so see the quick guard.
Yep, he's not letting any Thunder Wave happen.
Nice, good play.
And the knockoff from the Obstagoon. It looks like it was scarfed.
Man, what a play by Goomer. It almost seems like maybe the Thunder Wave was to expect that Scarf Gallade as well. So, man, that was a good play.
And then now Calypso has to switch out that Gallade, wanting to stay in.
Yeah, he definitely did not expect that Scarf, because, giving up Dragapult turn 1 like that is not what you want if you're the Darmanitans.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Ted, right now he has to switch out because he doesn't want to be locked in that quick guard. So, man, okay, that's interesting. So, looks like Calypso's going to switch out Gallade for Togepi. So, curious to see if this Obstagoon stays in or if it switches out. Maybe a knockoff on the Primarina might be good, but we'll see.
Here's the Togepi and a Max. The first Max of the VDL Season 4 Championship is going to be this Primarina. And now it's got that Togepi for redirection, so it's looking pretty safe here. Especially in front of just a Meowstic and Obstagoon. I mean, doesn't seem threatened at all.
And the Leer comes out for the Meowstic. Interesting tech.
Yeah, man, I didn't know Meowstic got Leer. That's cool to see. And the knockoff in the Togepi taking away its Eviolite. So the Max guys are going into Meowstick,
and it survives.
and
Which
it
is, yeah,
survives.
assuming it's a most likely a bulky meow stick.
That's a fat cat.
Yeah.
Now, this Obstagoon is scarfed in a knockoff in front of two fairies, which really isn't what you want offensively, but being that it's knockoff, it's still pretty annoying to deal with it for Calypsia, because it's just, he's losing all his items.
Yeah, and we saw that Rindo Berry from Primarina, so I mean, I'm curious to see if maybe that Gorgeist in the back or something, or or whether or not Goomer's gonna get a knockoff into that. So we'll see. Follow me from Togepi, another Leer.
Knockoff comes out, a little more damage.
Yeah, it looks like one more is gonna pick it up, so that's good for Goomer.
And then with that Mike Strike, he activates Obstagoon's Defiant, so getting a
Defiant.
+2 edge and attack is very good for Goomer.
Yeah, he's opting for speed control, and he doesn't mind giving the Obstagoon that boost, I guess, because knockoff really isn't going to do too much this Primarina, even at +2, and being Dynamax. So not too worried about that Obstagoon, although it is putting in work.
Yeah, we see that first from Gorgeist revealing to Goomer that that Primarina is Rindo Berry. So, I mean, I'd assume Calypso would just follow me just in case of a double up. But the thing with the Helping Hand Primarina is if Goomer just goes and knocks off Primarina and then goes for a Rindo Berry, or goes for a Max Overgrowth, at -2, the lade's not going to survive that. So I'm kind of surprised Calypso just went for the Helping Hand.
Yeah, that was a pretty ballsy play. I mean, at this point, he doesn't look like he's in the best position, so maybe he's going for a huge read or of some sort, or just kind of banking on a misplay.
Yeah, I find it interesting he's not targeting Obstagoon. I feel like that's been the mon so far. That's just been putting in a lot of work, and so helping Hand Max Starfall on the Gorgeist just feels kind of weird.
Let's see how much this does. So the knockoff's gonna it goes into the Togepi, and it's gonna pick up the KO.
On the EVs on Burgeist, I think this shouldn't KO. Even with the Helping Hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it survives.
And actually, seeing that it does 50%, I'm curious if Calypso was reading that Gorgeist wasn't going to Dynamax. Because if it wasn't Dynamaxing, maybe he knew the calc and wanted the Oko.
Now, that would make sense. So he's kind of
Max
hoping...
Overgrowth.
Yeah, that's a ton of damage.
It does survive with the Rindo.
But there's a lot with the -2 in defense from Leer.
Those Leers coming in handy.
So now we know that the premium is Dynamax is over. So curious to see what's going to happen here. We know the Obstagoon isn't faster than Gallade because they're both Scarf and there's a -1. I think a knockoff would kill. Obstagoon's at +2, Primarina's at -2. I would think that you just want to go for a close combat onto Obstagoon and just hope that something like a Moonblast might pick up a KO.
But as we saw there, he opted for the third shot to Burgeist.
Yeah, the issue with the locking yourself into that close combat is if Goomer just takes out the Primarina, then you're locked into close combat against the Gorgeist, and it's just a GG at that point. Really not good position for Calypso and the Norwegian Darmanitans here. Throat chop
And
not going to be enough.
That Gorgeist seems very physically bulky. That knockoff, taking out the Primarina. Max Fantasy Zone, is this going to be it? It is.
So that is game 1. Goes to the Boltund Bashers. Now, the questions we all have to ask is how does Calypsia adjust to this? I mean, he learned some valuable information. He knows that Dragapult, is going to underspeed that Scarf Obstagoon, is very threatened by it. He's not going to fall for that same mistake, which really, put Goomer in the position he was that game. So I wonder what we see here this time for game 2.
You see, what I'm thinking, if I'm Calypsia and I do want that Dragapult to kind of go to town, we saw the U-turn on Dragapult, and that's important because I think that's super effective damage onto the Obstagoon. So, I mean, I'm curious if he leads something like Dragapult Togepi and just tries to get Dragapult going in with that redirection, not really worrying too much about Obstagoon. So we'll see. Looks like he's maybe wanting to go with a Gallade Primarina lead is what it looks like he's thinking about. So.
And then in the second game, I think possibly bringing Darmanitan may change the outcome.
Yeah, you bring a good point up, Ted, because I mean Darmanitan seems to do very good against a lot of the mons on Goomer's team that he brought, right? I mean there was the Gourgeist, the Obstagoon, and the Meowstic. What I'm really curious about is just those 3 mons that we didn't see come out from Goomer: Mamoswine, the Tornadus, and the Stakataka, because those could potentially play a really big role in maybe just Goomer getting the 2-0 potentially, right? So we don't really know anything about those sets or what they're doing.
Yeah, that would have been nice information for Calypsia to know, because Tornadus, Stakataka, and Mamoswine have been huge for the Bashers this entire season, and he knows nothing about them at this point except that they don't have a couple of the items, like they don't have Scarf, because the Obstagoon has it. So I guess we will see. So if the Bashers win, they take the crown for this VDL season, and if Calypsia and the Norwegian Darmanitans win, we go to a game 3.
Another weird lead from Goomer right there. Tornadus and Gourgeist. Goomer has some weird stuff coming out, but so far it's been working.
So interesting that this Primarina really looks good against Goomer's team in general, except for this worrisome Gourgeist, and leading this Prim, it sees the last Pokemon it wants to see right in front of it. Lead. I wouldn't have expected a Gourgeist lead personally. Shadow Sneak comes out. That's big damage on the Gallade.
Yeah, Shadow Sneak is a lot of good damage right there. So interesting seeing that Leer come out into from the Tornadus. See that Moonblast going into Tornadus does about 50% and gets a special attack drop. That could be pretty good.
We see Citrus Berry from the Tornadus. Does that mean this is... it seems like a decently bulky Tornadus. Is this more of a support instead of the frequent max option we see from Goomer?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, as we talked about earlier, Tornadus is Goomer's kill leader, so kind of surprised he may not have an offensive one coming out here. So I'm guessing the Shadow Sneak coming out from Gourgeist, and then curious to see what this Tornadus does. Maybe it has Grass Knot, wants to get rid of that Window Berry from the Primarina. So we'll kind of see what Goomer's up to here.
Yeah, Goomer clearly has the upper hand at the moment. Status seeking to Glade.
Sludge Bomb, super effective damage. Not doing too much, as Primarina is pretty specially bulky. Some good damage on the Tornadus. I think another Hyper Voice might kill.
Calypso has gotten some pretty good chip on these two mons that Goomer led. Maybe he's just trying to get his Dragapult in a really good position here, and it looks like he is maxing it.
And then switching Darmanitan.
Yeah, trying to
Probably.
get that speed boost is what it looks like. I kind of find it interesting because I'm thinking that, maybe Goomer should have just airstreamed into Tornadus, and then, I think the Prim's faster than Gorgeist, so maybe just going for a Moonblast and getting a double KO. But, Darmanitan and Dragapult is a very deadly combination, so I could see that he wants to really sweep with this duo, it looks like.
Possibly preserve the Primarina for later. Opting for the chip from Sludge Bomb from Arcades.
See this Shadow Sneak doing a decent chunk.
Airstream is going to pick up that KO as
Airstream
expected.
coming out to Gorgeist.
Pumpkin's bulky, but it's not that bulky.
And a Tailwind. That could be very, very good for Goomer right here. Getting that Tailwind up.
That is not what you want to see if you're Calypso. Because he just set, you could tell he switched in the Darmanitan and he airstream, so he's trying to set up just two hyper offensive mons to just kind of sweep the rest of the game. And that Tailwind's going to enable Goomer to kind of make some plays here and, not give up all speed control.
Depending on the ability of Mamoswine, Flare Blitz could just do just under half. It's thick fat.
I'm actually curious if Mamoswine outspeeds, because I'm not sure it does actually under Tailwind when Dragapult's at +1.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Air slash miss into Darmanitan. You see the airstream go into Tornadus. The question is, how much is this Flare Blitz going to do right here?
This is going to do a lot. I think if it's not thick fat, it just KOs.
I wonder if it's like thick fat Akka.
Just
Oh.
It has to be.
Yeah, that's thick fat for sure.
Yeah. We see the Quake. Good play to get rid of the Darmanitan.
Yeah, he doesn't want to deal with another Flare Blitz.
So now, what is the last mon on Goomer's side? We know that he has a Prim in the back, and it's definitely not going to be faster than anything like Mamoswine.
The stack. The
Taka.
brick house. Brick house coming in.
One thing that's interesting is Stack Attacka with a Spadef boost could very well take something from Primarina. So I'm curious if, does Max Quake take Primarina out?
I would expect so, especially being at only 120 health and it's a Mamoswine. I would expect it takes it out, but we'll have to see how much this Dragapult can do. I'm not sure if it can finish off the Mamoswine, being that it's Assault Vest and not something like a Life Orb or a...
Now, what we just saw there, he opted for Max Warman into the Stack Attacka.
Good play, trying to
Yeah.
lower Mamoswine's attack. So maybe a Max Quake doesn't kill. The other thing is maybe that's Speedy Stack? Maybe? And it's
a white
wider.
herb. Yeah.
Wow, the white herb.
And that takes it out.
I'm not sure if that KOs at -1.
Man. probably trying to predict something like a Torcat, because it's thick, fat, and so.
And
Oh,
then Trick Room,
okay.
yeah.
So we knew Colopsia had Torcat with Intimidate. So Goomer wanted to potentially run Oblivious, but also Thick Fat. So he knew that he couldn't survive a hit from Darmanitan. So he runs the Thick Fat Mamoswine and then Wider to get rid of any Torcat Intimidate shenanigans. Man, and Mamoswine's going to be faster.
That
With
is
the Ice
just-
move, we'll see if this Gyro Ball takes it out, but barely
And
doesn't.
yeah, that's a
Mamoswine
GG. Yeah.
This is
getting the last kill. And Goomer is our VDL Season 4 champion.
wow.
Much deserved to Goomer.
A vicious 2 games from Goomer. I mean, the prep, the Wider from the Manaswine, as we just talked about, he covered both the options, and not only was it a kind of an unexpected prep, but it came in handy. And I mean, he had, the Scarf Obstagoon, that just took out the Dragon Bolt. He really caught Colopsia off guard with some of this, and it paid off big time.
Man, that is incredible. GG's to Goomer. As we know, last season he went like 10-0 before losing in finals. So I mean, this is a well-deserved win. Goomer with 2 incredible seasons, and going to take the 2-0 in the finals versus the former champion.
Yeah, and a dominant 2-0 at that. I mean, we've seen kind of Colopsia being, taking out some of the better players in the league. I mean, he took out Otto in the playoffs. He's definitely a fierce competitor, and Goomer just had the calculations. He clearly went to the lab and developed a potion to defeat the Darmanitans. So I don't know. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
And
Goomer.
and with this,
Good
we don't have a repeat champion. So
We
different
do
champions in 3 rows, yeah.
So we have the Darmanitans are champion. Otto's a previous champion. Bashers join the club of champions. Who's the 4th?
So in season 1, it was kind of funny because we had this showdown league, and what happened was season 1 wanted to get season 2 underway, and so the final was kind of postponed because they were like, yeah, since someone's waiting on us, can we just like postpone the final? And ever since then, we have not actually had a championship match for season 1. So
Yeah, and both
season
of
1,
those
yeah,
players are still in the server, but they have yet not to play, so we just ignored it for the past couple of seasons, never to,
so we
see it
don't
again,
have.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a season 1 champion. I made it into playoffs that season. It was me and Varun, Jim Master Jaden, and Chimichar, and yeah, so we don't have that match.
So Colopsia was I guess if we're getting technical, the season 2 champion.
Yep.
But really the first champion of the VDL because the.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, what's interesting here is Colopsia got the 2-0 on Otto twice actually this season. Once in the playoffs, once in the regular season. Goomer actually only has 2 losses in terms of an entire set. He's only lost 2 sets in the VDL, both to Otto. And now we see Colopsia going up against Goomer, and he lost a set. It's like we have a little triangle here. We have the champions kind of have a triangle of weaknesses here.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to see. We saw 2 O's from each champion against another champion. So Otto 2-0'd Goomer, Goomer 2-0'd Colopsia, Colopsia 2-0'd Otto twice. So very interesting. Maybe we'll see some more of that play out in season 5, or maybe someone else will come and dethrone them. So we'll see what goes on there.
There'll definitely be some new faces, as some of us will not be returning. I'm one of those people, so I'm excited to see from not as a player perspective, but as a spectator perspective, seeing some new players and some of of the returning people's teams for season 5.
Ted is becoming an ex-competitor professional commentator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I should do that now. Yeah.
Well, again, congrats to the Boltund Bashers. They get their championship, and honestly, congrats to the Norwegian Darmanitans. I know you probably wanted this win, obviously, but I mean, runner-up, still fantastic, incredible season, fantastic prep all season, and some great games. So, but yeah, we have our Boltund Bashers, our season 4 VDL champion.
Congrats and good games, dude.
Yeah. Congrats, Gamer.